Good morning. I am glad to see so many of you having such a great time with your conversations. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of Telling the History of Slavery, Scholarship, Museum Interpretation, and the Public. We had a great day yesterday. Thank you all. For those of you who are just joining us this morning, Leslie Green Bowman, president of the Thomas Jefferson Foundation at Monticello, asks me to extend her official and enthusiastic greetings. She truly regrets that she cannot be with us today. I am Susan Stein, Richard Gilder, Senior Curator and Vice President of Museum Programs at Monticello, and Project Director of Mulberry Row and the Landscape of Slavery at Jefferson's Monticello. This on-site, online, interdisciplinary project is supported in part by the National Endowment for the Humanities and served as the impetus for this conference. Our modest request to NEH for a few scholars to discuss the Mulberry Row project and the interpretation of slavery at historic sites blossomed into this comprehensive 2-day program with 20 panelists and over 100 participants, historians, curators, educators, and members of the public who share an interest in this subject. The Thomas Jefferson Foundation at Monticello planned the conference with the participation of Morven of the University of Virginia. The Thomas Jefferson Foundation, with its long-standing interest in this subject, is the sponsor. The foundation, which owns and operates Monticello, has studied slavery here through historical and archaeological research for over 50 years and has actively interpreted slavery to the public for the last 25 years. I'd like to thank and praise the program's organizers, 2 Monticello staff members, curators Elizabeth Chu and Justin Sarafin, Morven's Director of Research, Laura Voisin-George, and Professor John Coombs of Hampton-Sydney College. Laura let us know that she and John Coombs were planning a similar conference for Morven, just as Elizabeth and Justin were putting together Monticello's program. We quickly realized the benefits of merging our efforts. Yesterday, we explored recent and exciting advances in slavery research and how these advances are influencing public understanding of slavery. In the panel moderated by John Coombs, we saw presentations describing widely accessible websites with databases, some about documentary records, military and civil, others about the Atlantic slave trade, including an important database designed to determine the origins of the enslaved Africans brought to the New World, and comparative archaeological studies, all affecting the scholarship and understanding of slavery, the Atlantic slave trade, the operations of slave-based plantations, and the experience of slavery. Professor Miller's panel discussed how the scholarly literature and approach to slavery is evolving, including oral history. Cinder Stanton referenced how wider access to newspapers, court, church, and county records is making it possible to learn more about the human dimension of enslaved people and their descendants. Annette Gordon-Reed spoke about the past and potential effects of genetic study on the history of enslaved people. And there was a great deal more than this said, and I hope that in a week or two you will turn to monticello.org to see the recorded proceedings of both days of this conference. We have many individuals and 3 organizations to thank. First, the financial contributors, the National Endowment for the Humanities, represented today by Public Programs Officer Jeff Hardwick, the Fritz and Claudine Kundren Foundation, and the Thomas Jefferson Foundation and its Robert H. Smith International Center for Jefferson Studies, headed by our colleague Andrew O'Shaughnessy, who welcomes us here to the Robert H. Smith Center at Mount Alto. We owe thanks to the distinguished panelists who came here from distant places today and the dozens of people at the Thomas Jefferson Foundation who contributed their time and efforts, and especially Mary Scott Fleming, who organized the on-site conference. Thank you, Mary, wherever you are. Special thanks go to several departments: information technology, events, education and visitor programs, and archaeology, buildings, and transportation, which got us up that mountain road today. We appreciate all of your hard work. Thank you all, each and every one of you, for coming to discuss your work, to share your perspectives, and to shape the dialogue about this very important topic. Thank you.